everyone, my name is Phoenix and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I hope everyone has enjoyed Christmas and is trying to look forward to a new year, 2025. Um, I'm using this channel as a like a video diary channel to get my truth out there, to put light to the darkness that has surrounded certain events. And also to clear the air because I've heard a lot of bullshit. So, anyway, first of all, I did lose my oldest son the day before he turned 3. I did have a drug overdose, and my son was removed from my custody. I signed him over to the custody of my parents. I lived in Florida at the time, and they lived in Kentucky. With the understanding that once I completed rehab, that I would be getting him back. So my parents took him. I took my time in rehab. I did over 30 days inpatient, and then I did another 30 days outpatient voluntarily, just to make sure that, I was good to go and my risk of relapse was low. It helped that at the time I was moving to a dry county, but my dad was an alcoholic, so I was around alcohol all the time. Anyway, so I moved in with my parents. I got a job, um, saved up a bunch of money. Between 6 to 8 months later, I'm not sure exactly because this was a really long time ago. I did have enough money to move out and get an apartment. My mom convinced me to get a 1 bedroom. She said that my son and I did not need all kinds of room, that we could get by with something smaller so I could save money. And with the job that I had at the time, it wasn't great money. So I was like, okay, sure, she's my mom. She's not gonna steer me wrong. Ah. Well, anyway, move-in time comes. And so I'm, talking to my mom about packing up my son's stuff and, having him and I move in and our first nights in the apartment. And she convinced me to leave him behind, for now until I get set up and settled. I didn't really have a whole lot of furniture, blah, blah, blah. Okay, again, makes sense. Let me try to do things the right way. Let me listen to my mom. She's not going to steer me wrong. So I'm set up in my apartment, and, I'm getting a little irritated that my mom isn't letting my son come home with me. Um, so I have a conversation with her, and I give her a date that I will be coming and picking him and his things up so that he can, move back in with me and we can get our life started again. Um, my mom didn't like that, and she made a disparaging remark against me to my son in front of me. She had forgotten I was there, I think is what happened. And because as soon as it had left her mouth and her and our eyes met, it was an oh shit kind of thing. You know what I mean? So what I did is I got in touch with somebody that I knew, somebody that I worked with, um, as a babysitter. We were going to trade babysitting duties back and forth because we didn't work the same days or the same shifts. So I was going to watch her kids, she was going to watch mine, just to get some separation between me and my parents because my mom, her hooks were in, and she wasn't wanting to let go for anything. So Um, when I told her that I wasn't gonna be using her as a babysitter, I had found somebody else. She got really upset. She got really mad. Um, but I mean, she needed to let go. She really did. Again, she set up a date with me, a weekend, a Saturday, I think is what it was, for me Saturday morning for me to come and pick up my son and his things and take him home to move in with me. So I show up at my parents' house and I notice that my mom's car is gone. And my dad had parked in the driveway so that I wasn't able to get in myself. So I parked on the street. Um my dad came out of the house, he met me and told me that my mom and son were not there, that I had abandoned him with them, and that they were filing court papers to get permanent custody of him because I had abandoned him with them. I was rightfully upset. I called the sheriff's department for help, thinking maybe, he could get them to hand my son over. Um, he came. My dad lied to him about how long they had custody, and lied about me just now showing up and wanting to be involved in his life. Um, because, like I said, I had lived there for 8 months, and he was constantly at my apartment, spending weekends and stuff. And really, I should never have gotten him back. I never should have given him back because, if I would have had physical possession of him, none of this probably would have ever happened. But I was trying to be nice. I would not believe that my own parents would treat me the way that they did. I refuse to believe that my parents could be so friggin' ugly and hypocritical and nasty and mean. Um, but they are. Dad lied to the sheriff's deputy about, how long I had been gone and all that. The sheriff's deputy told me that, I really should be thanking them, thanking my lucky stars that they were here, to take care of my son for me all this time, even though I was there. Anyway, so time went on. My mom and dad kept sending me text messages about how I was avoiding being served, which was not the case. I wanted to be served. I wanted this court case to go ahead. I needed to be served so that I had all the information um, to take to a lawyer for a consultation. You know what I mean? And the fact that I wasn't being served was kind of annoying to me. Um, I was told that the deputies had shown up to my place of work a couple of times when I was supposed to have been there, but I was not there. Apparently they had shown up to my apartment. Uh, Nobody ever knocked on my door. I actually had to chase them down, Casey County, to get the summons for court. Um, I, Truth be told, being almost 2 counties away, they probably didn't want to take the drive just to deliver some paperwork. So, whatever. Accuse me of being a liar. Whatever. I don't give a damn. So, anyway, we get to the first hearing. I can't afford a lawyer. I am a shift manager at a fast food restaurant at this point in time. Um, so I can't pay for a lawyer. My parents had a lot of money. They actually cleaned out during the recession of 2008. They sold the house that they had built in Florida for, what did they say? I don't know, two or three times what it was worth. And bought a house and a piece of property in Kentucky and had all kinds of money to friggin' spend and spend they did. One of the things they spent it on was a lawyer. Um, the judge at first didn't believe me that I couldn't afford a lawyer and I couldn't get a lawyer. He also didn't believe me that I had contacted legal aid already and tried to get them to represent me, but they refused until he made the phone call. He threatened to actually put me in jail. And I'm like, what good would that do? How is that going to help me get a lawyer? Like, it makes no sense. So he made the phone call to Legal Aid of Kentucky. I met with the lawyer assigned to my case one time. We very basically went over the outline of the case. Um, I could never get in touch with her. She didn't return emails. She didn't return phone calls. I didn't hear from her at all until the morning of the hearing when she showed up to the courthouse, which I was even wondering if she was going to do. She showed up to the courthouse with a blank yellow legal pad and one of those small boxes, like those snack sized boxes of raisins, in case her sugar dropped because she was a type 1 diabetic. So she wanted to make sure her sugar didn't drop. Um, During the court case, um, my parents presented pictures of my son at their house playing, enjoying his room or whatever, um, without me, and presented that as evidence of, you know, me not being there, me abandoning him. But those were pictures that I had taken, and in fact, a couple of them, and one that I actually still have in my wallet, was from my freaking birthday, right? You can see he's eating the angel food cake and strawberries, because that was my birthday cake. Um, so it's really funny, funny and sad that they used that against me. The reason why I wasn't in the pictures was because I was the one taking the pictures. And of course, this legal aid biatch couldn't be bothered really. During the lunch break, she told me that it really wasn't going well and she would not blame me for not coming back for the second half. And I'm like, there's no way in hell that I'm not coming back. I'm going to fight for my son. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, lies lost out lies. They brought my son's father in to testify, which I thought was pretty rich. Because I left him to to move up to Kentucky to get a clean slate to start over clean, because he was not. And so for the court case, my son's father moved in with my parents, and he quote unquote testified against me. But the whole thing is he was mad at me because I didn't get an abortion to begin with. He was mad at me because I made him be a father. He was mad at me because now he was gonna have to pay child support and all blah 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 blah. He didn't want to have nothing to do with it. He didn't want to be a dad. Well, he had the opportunity to walk away while I was pregnant and he didn't. So, whatever. Anyway, my parents lie a lot. That's pretty much all they do, especially when it comes to me. I'm not really sure what it is about me specifically that they don't like. It started when I was a teenager. I ran away a lot. Yes, because I had severe depression and anxiety, and a budding personality disorder, once again, thanks to them and their neglect with getting me help with the abuse that I had suffered when I was younger. Um, my mom continually ignored me on that front, and both of my parents tried to say that there was nothing wrong with me except for the fact that I was just a bratty teenager. mad that I didn't get my way, which doesn't make any sense because, we grew up not having any privileges, any rights, anything, any freedom whatsoever when we were kids. So why would I be throwing a fit over something I never had? Just more excuses. Anyway, there is so much more where all of that came from. My parents ended up winning that custody hearing. Wonder why. Um, I had deplorable moral character, and I had to spend the next 13 years begging my mom for a chance to see my son, even though, you know, oh, all we want to do is help you and rebuild your relationship. And no, all she ever did was try to keep me away from him. He was her second chance child. She felt like she had ruined her chances with the three of us with her um, physical and verbal abuse, to the point where at the time none of us really wanted anything to do with her. So she decided she was going to take my kid as, her stand-in, her do-over. And even now she doesn't give me credit for anything. Nothing. My dad doesn't either. Hell, my dad was barely there growing up. Um, he lived in the garage and in a bottle. So, yeah, there was the extent of his involvement. Um, Sneaking quick kisses as, he's playing like Wolfenstein or something on the computer where he can't take his eyes off it for a second, and oh my gosh, we are so much in the way for wanting to say goodnight to our father after not seeing him literally all day and night. Um it it was asked of me um why nobody ever wanted to call and talk to my dad at all, and it's like, why? He never showed any interest in us when we were kids, like at all. um just so many things. Anyway, that's the story of that. I'll come back at some point and share more stories with you because they do get worse. They are so much worse. Um, oh, another thing I found out this summer, sneaky, sneaky mother. Um, she's telling people that the reason why she got custody of my son is because I tried to sell him for drugs. Now, mind you, if that was true, don't you think would have been arrested for something like that? Not sure exactly why she feels the need to make things worse than what they are, except for the fact that um, she craves the attention. My mom will pretend she doesn't like drama. Um, she'll say that all she wants is peace and harmony and blah blah blah. But she'll be the first one to go behind your back and start talking smack about you, or oh, I just heard from Sarah the other day, and anyway, let me spill the tea on her and get off the phone. Mm. My mom says she does not like the drama, but ho, she loves the drama. She'll sit there and say that all she wants is peace, love, and harmony, and for everybody to get along and have a big happy family. Um, except if that was the case, she wouldn't be making up stories about people. My mom claims she doesn't like drama, but she gets bored easy because, you know, she lives in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do. Um, Assuming her motivation is boredom, that and trying to paint herself in a much more favorable light than she deserves. She has started fights between me and my sister. Um, to get us bickering and fighting and arguing, just simply because she could. She uh she loves it, really. And anybody that knows her, when she really stopped to think about it, it's like when she complains about not wanting drama, she protests way too much. And she's always got her little fingers in there trying to stir up the pot. Just like she did the last time she was at my house. She was supposed to be here helping me because I had gone through a second amputation in, 2 months due to a staph infection that turned into a bone infection, turned into sepsis, blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, I was having a housing inspection, and I had reached out to housing to try to get the inspection like delayed a little bit because it was like literally the week after my amputation that they were supposed to be coming. Trying to give me a little leniency. They didn't want to give me leniency. My mom offered to help. Um, Her help was going and grabbing garbage bags and marching back to my kids' room and telling them that she was going to be emptying them out, and leaving them with nothing, just like she did with me and my siblings when we were younger. Luckily, my best friend was here at the same time, and I sent her to the back of the apartment because I couldn't go anywhere. Um, and she stopped my mom. That was on a Saturday, I want to say. And by Monday, she was gone, and she never came back to help. I mean, I had her script written. Um, it's just, it was too much. And I just basically wanted to get the biggest part of it out of the way. I think the rest of it'll be easier once I have, now that I've unloaded that particular boulder. Um, my parents are kidnappers, my parents are liars, my parents are thieves. They're abusive, emotionally, physically, in every sense of the word. Um, Very emotionally neglectful and invalidating growing up, which has caused problems in all of us, the three of us, whether anybody else wants to admit it or not. That's on them. I can't control anybody else. All I can control is me. And me, I'm cleaning out my closet. I'm getting all this junk out of my head, off my chest, and out into the open. Um, Lies hate daylight. And so I'm fixing to shine some daylight on all of these lies. Um, if that's anything that is of interest to you, um, go ahead and subscribe. I have no idea when I'm going to be uploading the next video. I do know that I'm going to have it more structured this time. I was just kind of going loosey goosey with it, deciding to see how it would go. Um, but anyway, feeling a little more free already. Have a great night all, and hope to see you next time. Bye.